Cordless computer. Okay. Sorry about that. First time doing this. Let's see. Share. Okay. You guys can see it still, right? Again, everything. Anyone? You guys can see
Yeah,
it? You guys? Okay.
yeah, we can see
Perfect.
it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So thanks again for coming. This is the first time I ever ran a session. But I'm really, really excited and grateful. Thank you guys for each of you coming out. I'm really excited, like I said, and Paul for this opportunity. This is Chris's crew. Basically, it's NFHS rules and clips that we're going to be combining. The rules and video replay to build a Rolodex that you can rely on. I know that we talk about all the time in officiating, watching film, this and that, learning the rules. Well, I decided, you know what? Let's just combine the both of them today. Talk about the rules, talk about some plays, positioning, who has the right whistle, who doesn't have the right whistle in certain plays, and honestly just get better in that way. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And I want it to be definitely interactive. So don't be afraid to chime in or cut me off. Like this is all open. And like I said, we're all just trying to get better. So um like I said, just a couple of guidelines that I was learned a lot this summer, especially, but just trying to implement coming into the season with September now here. Control what you can control, right? Be a great partner, officiate to the level of your experience. Always have the mentality of game, crew, and you. It'll help you out in a lot of opportunities. Just letting that ego down. We all have one, but just always knowing that the game comes first. So doing what's right for the game yourself comes last, and then that crew always just making sure we have positive crew dynamics and then our just constant brush up on the rules and mechanics. So just coming out here during your off time, I know we all have a lot of things going on, so it just shows that you guys are committed, and that's awesome. So just a quick itinerary. We're just gonna get into the points of emphasis real quick. Just not all of them, but just ones that I thought were like super prominent. And I know you guys are probably going to your high school meetings and stuff, but just so we get a grasp of them, before we even get there, right? Why not? We're gonna go over 12 NFHS rules questions, but we're gonna kind of go deep into them. I want to, like I said, have a discussion. I got a couple of good stuff, good clips and things like that we can kind of integrate with them. So like I said, I'm really excited about that. And then we got an Al Batista 5-question speed round, which is 5 questions from Al Batista. He's like a legend in officiating. He knows 5 different rule books, this and that. He's a legend. So I just took 5 of his questions, and we're gonna do a speed round after. And then we're gonna potentially talk about questions, clips you guys would like to share. If you guys have any, I would love to share them. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Points of emphasis for this year, for 2024-2025 season, is the warning for delay, faking being fouled being implemented into NFHS now, and then the proper procedures for handling blood, which we're going to get into right now. A couple of our rule changes and the rationales behind them. Rule 337. It allows 20 seconds for a player to address any minor blood issue on the body or uniform without leaving the game. If the blood cannot be appropriately covered clean within 20 seconds, the head coach must take a timeout to address the issue or substitute for the player. Basically, this is kind of the NCAA men's rule and NCAA women's rule. So a lot of these rules you'll see will, if you guys work multiple levels, women's or men's college, they're kind of implementing more so that, so it's more an even not playing field, but it'll be easier transition for us as officials and those who are watching the game that, these rules that are so small are going to carry over now, which is awesome for us, especially as we make our way up throughout the ranks. Let me ask this. So let's say that in this situation, the blood doesn't get clean within 20 seconds, right? Let's say A1's bleeding. We stop the game, we see blood's on his jersey. They try to rectify the situation within 20 seconds. Let's say they can't, right? And yes or no question, can the coach call a timeout? And well, it already says that there actually, so we're gonna forget that. Coach can take a timeout. We spoke about that. Awesome. Next one, and the rationales is to the right if you guys would like to read it. I'm not gonna read it though, as of now. We're gonna go rule 475. Changes the penalty for failing to immediately pass the ball to the nearest official when a whistle sounds from player. So it's going to go from a player technical to a warning for delay for the first violation and a team technical for any subsequent offense. So we're adding this to the 4 delays during our game, right? So we just got to be more aware of that. And they want to just make, they just want to make the penalty less severe and they want us to call it more, right? If this situation occurs where we don't have that pressure to be like, hey, I don't want to give this guy his first player technical foul. Let's just give it to a warning first, and then we're just going to give a team technical foul, right?
So,
Same penalty.
Christopher,
Yeah.
I got a question. So sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're good.
In the past, this has always been at the discretion of the official, whether it was severe enough to be a technical or a warning. I had
Yeah.
one in the game last year where a player, the home team was down by a dozen. They stole the ball on the inbounds, made a basket. The crowd erupts, goes crazy. The other team getting ready to inbound the ball, but the other team player has the ball at the foul line. That's where she retrieved the ball.
Okay.
She's trying to yell something to her player before she steps back out of bounds to inbound the ball. At that time, the home team player swatted the ball out of her hand and went rolling over to the wall, which is about 50 feet away.
Wow.
To be retrieved. So I issued a warning. I went over to the coach and issued a warning. He didn't understand. It's funny. He sent the game clip into our signer for review, and they stood by me 100%. I could have called it straight technical.
Yeah.
But I used discretion. I said, no, we're going to do a warning for that because, the crowd's excited and pumped up. The player's excited. It's like, hurry up. I want to steal the ball again, right?
Yeah.
Let me get the ball again. Get out of bounds so I can grab the ball again. But that's a good example where last year it was at the discretion of the official. I mean, you would always give a warning. So this kind of solidifies that.
Absolutely. And honestly, that's a great point, Doug, because now we have that officially in our rule book now where it's like, all right, like we have support from the rules now that specifically states, right, that we are giving a warning first now, regardless of like, because we could go to straight to team technical, player technical last year, but team technical now, right? During that situation. And this could also be like, let's say you call a travel, side out, right? Can I have your partner? That bumps you over? Can I have the ball, please? Can I have the ball? They're just not giving you the ball. Like we got to keep the game moving, right? Yep. Delay game warning, right there. And then we make our way up. If they don't listen, they should. Team technical foul. And that's
this is something that usually on the inbounds pass, if the defense violates the plane, you would give a warning for that normally.
No, that's different.
I know that's different.
Let's say you're. Yeah, go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
That's what I was saying. It's different, but it's still a warning for a team technical. Same thing. Or no, I'm sorry, that's a player technical. Last year was a player technical.
I think you might be getting it a little confused, Doug. So are you talking about a play where, let's say we just had a made basket and I'm inbounding the ball. I go behind the end line. I'm out of bounds now, right? And then I come over the throw-in plane and I tap and I hit the ball. Are you talking about that situation?
No, just violating the plane. You don't have to hit the ball.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, just violating the plane, that is a warning. Correct. You're right on that. Yes. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Different story when you hit the ball.
Absolutely. What do we have when we hit the ball?
That's a technical.
What kind of technical?
That's a player technical.
Yeah.
Last year was a player technical, I believe. Am I right or wrong?
I think it's.
You're right.
Yeah. Awesome.
With all these warnings now, just remember that they're all, you don't get a warning for each one. They're all team delay warnings. So if you have the boundary line plane violation or warning in the first half, we play halves in Wisconsin, first quarter. And then you have this not giving it to an official, another delay warning, it's going to be a team technical.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not just a different player, it's by team.
Correct.
Yep. Lowering that penalty so we can call it more, I guess, when it's there, because that's what, NFHS, I guess, sees, not us enforcing the rules as much as we should. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, this is the big one. Changes for the penalty for faking being fouled from a player. We're going to go from a player technical that no one called, right? No one ever in high school. I've never seen a clip, or I've never called it, where a player technical foul when we have faking being fouled. It's going to be a warning for the first violation and a team technical for any subsequent offense. And it adds, we're going to have definitions that are going to be added to that with the examples. And I actually found a couple of them, which I'm excited to go over later. We get into our rules. So just hold your questions on that one if you do have any. Rule 4, it allows state associations to adopt a modification to the closely guarded rule if they have adopted the 35-second shot clock. allowing players to dribble the ball for more than 5 seconds while closely guarded and maintain that that a player may not hold the ball for 5 or more seconds. Sorry. So this is just saying that now our closely guarded count when they're dribbling the basketball, as long as we have a 35-second shot clock, which I'm assuming Wisconsin and everyone else where everyone else works has. I know we have it in New York.
We have a 30-second in Maryland.
Oh, you guys have
Wisconsin.
30 in Maryland? Okay.
Wisconsin doesn't have anything yet.
So it's gonna be a little
Yeah, we're
bit
way
different for you
behind.
guys. Yeah, you guys just stand around, I guess, right? Yeah, so when they're dribbling the basketball, just like in NCAA men's and NCAA women's, we don't have a closely guarded count anymore. Only when they're holding the ball within 6 feet, right? Front foot of the
So when they're dribbling and you're a defensive player within closely guarded,
Yep.
then it's no longer a 5-second count.
Correct. We don't have to count anymore. Only when
Good.
they're holding the basketball. So let's say I'm holding the basketball, be pivot released, I dribble the basketball, I'm still within 6 feet as a defender. Doug, you're defending me. We're good. I pick it up again, right? We start our count again.
I think that's a
And
good
that's-
change because then it takes the argument away from the coach if you're discussing it, are they closely guarded or not when they're in motion?
Yeah.
Make sure you check your state though, because that's by state adoption.
And
Yeah.
that's the key right there. With the 30-second shot clock, I don't know if it's different. I know in New York we use 35. So I know that we're going to be adopting this 100%.
Well, you mentioned Al Batista in the beginning. He does our state association review.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure he will be hammering this home with a ball peen hammer. So,
Oh, he 1,000% will. You know that. Oh man. We got 2 more that I thought were prominent. Establishes that all administrative, team, and bench technical fouls that occur during the pregame offset. No free throws are going to be awarded, and the game will start with the jump ball, and the head coach does not lose the privilege of the coaching box. So just not penalizing the coach, giving them a bench technical foul, and then having them sit down for any sort of like administrative issues. This includes dunking during well, I have it in the next row, but this includes dunking during a dead ball, which would be pregame in high school. It's legal in every other sort of rule book, pro, college, all that. But in high school, they're still enforcing this, and we'll go right into it. 10-2-7, 10-5-1. Changes the penalty for dunking or attempting to dunk or stuff a dead ball from a bench technical to a team technical, right? So, as Gabe said, everything's moving towards a team technical infraction, sort of say, and it's not going to be towards the coach. They're not going to be sitting down anymore because of that, because technically these players are bench personnel before the game. That's all out now. So honestly, faking being fouled is kind of the biggest one, of the closely being guarded, dribbling one. But
so
other
Chris,
than that,
can we go back for a second? I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
no.
So now pregame, you're official watching the players, you did your count, you'd make sure they're properly equipped and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Player 43 decides to do a pregame dunk.
Okay.
Previous years, that was a technical foul, and the coach lost their coaching box, and he started the game with 2 shots, and the other team gets the ball. And that, so that's how it used to be administered. So that's now changing, and this rules change, right?
In terms of like referring to penalty 10-1-1, right? The one on top.
Yeah.
So let's read it one more time. Establishes that all administrative team and bench technical fouls that occur during the pregame offset. No, actually, if we had another technical foul for the other team, then yes. So
that's only if they're even.
Only if they offset, yes. So if we have, say, we have dunking during the dead ball, and then we have potentially like a book issue. Let's say that a legal number, right?
Yeah, from the 2 different teams. So the visiting team dunks, the home team book isn't ready. They offset.
We're going to
start like regular, but each team gets a team technical.
Yeah, each team will get a team technical, which will count towards a team foul, team foul count. Right.
But if 43 dunks on their own, then it's still the same.
Correct.
Penalty.
Yes.
That has
still the same penalty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've rarely seen an issue where you have a dunk and then you have the team. Yeah, the book's not ready.
Yeah.
Well, the penalty does change because it goes to a team technical, not a bench technical, which means the coach doesn't lose the box.
And that's the biggest thing.
That's the big change.
Yeah.
So the penalty does change. The enforcement's still the same. He shows 2 free throws in the ball to start, but
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
No,
coach just
yeah, you're,
moved the coaching box this time. Right?
what'd you say,
Yeah,
Doug? Say it one more.
Yeah, he doesn't lose the
Yeah,
box
he
on
doesn't
this,
lose the box. That was a pain.
where he
in the
did
butt.
before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Anyone else, any questions or
Yeah,
comments?
sorry,
We're
I just
good?
wanted to jump in real quick. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up, y'all?
What's up?
Doug, I wanted to clarify something that you said earlier. So if we have a administrative or a team bench technical foul prior to the game, it doesn't have to be equal. If we just have fouls by both teams and the offset. So if there's 2 for team A and 1 for team B, we would still offset them. It wouldn't be free throws for team B because they have
Oh,
one.
okay. Because I thought that's what Christopher was alluding to. I was just confirming. That's okay though. I got you.
So
No,
that's a good,
it can still be 2 different types, but in terms of the quantity of them, it doesn't matter what the number is. It could be 5 for one team and 1 for the other. But so long as there are technicals on both teams, then we're going to
No.
offset. There's not going to
Okay.
be any free throws.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Montreal.
That's great. Thank you, Moncho.
Yep, no
Appreciate
problem.
that, man. Awesome. I think we're all good. We'll head to the questions.
I had a question on that.
On right here, Nate.
Yeah, it's Nate. Sorry,
Yeah, no, you're
I
good.
was looking at the rationale. It says an equal number, so an equal number of technical fouls by both teams during pregame. Or
Oh, wait, my bad. I didn't see that.
Another good point. Clarifies that
Yeah,
number of technical fouls
I mean,
committed by both teams.
yeah. But I think if it was unequal, we would shoot. If it was 5-1, we'd be shooting. 8
yeah,
free
I think
throws.
you're right, Nate.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I was saying. So okay.
Yeah.
Now we're reversing.
We're reversing back.
My bad.
No, don't worry about it. It's open space. You know, we haven't even had
Hey,
our,
yeah.
like,
Hey,
I
these
haven't had
are-
my rules meeting yet. You know,
Rule changes are always difficult. So no
that's
worries.
it. That's why we're talking about them. That's why I figured we bring them up before our actual meeting, so we have an understanding at least, and just collaborating like this is awesome. So it's good stuff. Yeah, let's get into some questions real quick. Here we go. Here we go. Question number 1. 7 minutes before the scheduled starting time for the game, teammate presents its team roster and its starting lineup to the scorer, and then 6 minutes prior to the game starting time, teammate presents 2 additional names to the scorer for the team list. The crew decides to assess teammate with 1 technical foul for the violation of not presenting its team members list, nor designating its starting lineup at least. That should say 10, not 120. Sorry.
2 hours ahead.
10
I like
minutes
that.
prior to the scheduled game starting time. Yeah, life of a college student. Teammates also assess 1 technical foul for the 2 names that were added to its team roster 6 minutes prior to the game starting time. So what do we got?
I got 1 technical foul.
You got what?
1 team technical foul.
Okay, for the violation. And then are they also going to be assessed another technical foul for the 2 names?
So I'm just going off women's rules. So we would only do 1. So I'm guessing it's just 1 because they're kind of filtering down from the women's level.
I would agree with Nate.
Mhm.
If
Anyone else?
You ignore the second one, but
Yeah.
the first one's penalized.
Yep. Anyone else? Opinions? Thoughts? No? All right. And that rationale, from my understanding, and like I said, anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the correct right there. Just some like the key concepts here. At least 10 minutes before the scheduled start, each team must apply the official scorer, not the guy in the book or the girl lady in the book putting the names in, which I thought of for my first 2 years until one of the older guys told me that that's not true. They just have to supply them, which I didn't
Yay, old
realize.
guys. Yay.
See, learning from everyone. That's it. They must supply the official score with the name and number of each team member and designate the 5 starting players. So as long as they're supplied with it, we're fine, right? We take a look before the game, we do our due diligence, and we're all good. The penalty for failing to provide the team roster and designate 5 starters before is 1 administrative technical. After the 10-minute time limit, a team is charged with a maximum of 1 technical foul, as you guys said, regardless of how many infractions of the scorebook are committed. So, Are we all good with that? Yep.
So,
Yep.
yes, I do have a question, and I'm trying to remember if we discover a bookkeeping error after, like, say the game's already started,
Mhm.
we're still assessing a technical foul for that, correct?
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
say I had a situation last year where we had an illegal number at the end of the first quarter. I didn't recognize it. I recognized it at the end of the first, just an illegal number. We did administer the technical foul free throws for that. Yeah.
And then for that one, it is for each error that is, I guess, identified. Like if we end up seeing that two players are wearing the wrong number, it will be two administrative technical fouls.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. And they would count as team fouls, obviously, toward the bonus and all that stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, good question. Let's move on. Here we go. Question number 2. 3 minutes before the game starts, it is discovered 2 TV members are wearing the same number. One of the identical numbered players is marked as one of the 5 designated starters. The officials decide to not penalize the identical numbers at the time they recognize it and inform the head coach that his team will not be penalized until the other identical number team member enters the game. Is this true or false? So did the officials adjudicate this correctly? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it's only a violation when they become a player.
Okay.
I guess true as well.
Okay. See. All right. After the 10-minute team time limit, a team is charged with 1 technical foul, regardless of how many infractions of the following are committed: changing a designated starter unless necessitated by illness, injury, equipment, adding a name to the team member list, requiring the scorer to change the team members or player's number in the scorebook, requiring a player to change the number in the scorebook, having identical numbers on team members and or players. I can't read that bottom part because of my Zoom. Hold on. The team cannot avoid this penalty by not playing the team members wearing identical uniforms. The penalty will be assessed on discovery as a change in uniform is required. So this is like this ruling. So you guys are correct, by the way. This is like an old, like really maybe like 10 years old, this slide, right? So you guys are correct. When they become a player, right? They are going to be charged that technical foul. You guys good? We're all good with that?
Yep.
Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Okay, question number 3. With 6 minutes left in the pregame warm-up period, Team A returns to its locker room. The referee has time to notify Team A. The referee has the timer notify the Team A when 3 minutes are remaining in the warm-up period. Team A returns to the court 4 minutes after the game was scheduled to start. How would you adjudicate this play? So this like happens all the time in New York. I guess I mean other states they do it. They like leave like 4 minutes before, 7 minutes before. I never understand it. They talk, whatever. So let's say a rare situation that we have is like they just don't come back until like 4 minutes after the game started. Right? They're just like in their locker room getting hype or whatever, and they're just not there for game time. Do you guys have any idea how you would adjudicate this play?
I can take a shot at it.
Yeah, go for it.
I seem to be doing a lot of talking tonight. I'm trying to leave it open for others to comment. So at the end of the day, this is a delay game. The start of the game. That would be a team technical foul. You start it with 2 shots and give the ball to the other team.
Okay.
At the division line.
Okay.
That's how I would call it. I would do first off, before we even get to that point, I would make sure I have 2 or 3 people go back and get this team out of the locker room. So you don't have to do this.
You maintain a nice outside in. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. What's it called? I like that rationale. That's good. That's good stuff. Anyone else? We'll just skip to it. We'll go to it. Let's see what we got. Adjudication. Unless there is a legitimate reason for the delay, Team A is charged with a technical foul. The game will be started by awarding TV with 2 free throws plus the ball for a designated spot thrown at the division line opposite the table. The head coach does not lose the coaching box privileges. So Coach Wright is going to remain standing here. And really good job right there. on that explanation, Doug. Explanation, just backups
Hey,
for it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
We should probably go back and talk about that illegal number because it's still in the book. So I think we're all wrong.
Are we?
Yeah. So
Really?
in rule book 3.2, article 2, after the 10-minute time limit in article 1, team is charged with a maximum of 1 technical foul regardless of how many infractions there were the following. And letter E is having identical numbers on team members and or players. And the case book is the same as you have listed there, 322B. It's identical to what you have, so
Oh.
it hasn't changed. Which I was wrong on that. I would
I
have
thought
said,
they
oh, it's
changed
not
that
till he was
too.
a player, but I mean, and these are last year's books, and this year's books are different. I don't have this year's
Yeah.
yet,
I
but
don't have this year's either.
but this is right out of last year's. It's the same. So just so we get that right, like I guess I'm with you guys. I mean, my thought is if he doesn't play, what difference does it make, right? Like,
Exactly.
you know, I mean, because I personally have seen it, you know, the JV kid that's warming up wearing the same number as the varsity kid, and you know, you go talk to, hey, you got 2 numbers, and the coach is like, yeah, well, he ain't gonna play anyways. You know, he played his quarters on JV or whatever, he's just warming up with the varsity.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept. I'm not sure. And again, I know we have to do it by the book. I'm not sure I'm gonna
So-
issue a technical.
So let's talk about the timing of this real quick. So if you're at the 10-minute mark, you know, and the bookkeeper calls you over to inspect the book, and at the 10-minute mark, you find it,
Mm-hmm.
you could and probably should administer the technical foul. But I still think, and to try to get discretion, because these are high school kids or maybe even middle school kids, if you're doing, you know, 7th, 8th grade,
Yeah.
you say, hey, change the number.
I go over to the table at 12 minutes in high school games because I want that 2 minutes to be able to try to figure some of those things out. And
Because
make
you know
sure
what?
that-
Because if you're watching the kids game, you know, warm up, you know, because they get out there 15 minutes usually before the game starts to warm up, and you see a double number, that's a clear sign you can go over and correct that. Do a little
100%,
kind of officiating.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So
We don't want to start our game off though with 3
Or-
goals. and all
yeah,
that,
exactly.
you know,
Or tell
no
them just to
one wants
keep
that.
their shooting jerseys on so we don't know what numbers are, you know.
So we don't have to address this because now, since this is true, and thanks for picking that up, Gabe. Like this is, I believe, for this is like we have to discover this before the warm up period ends. After this 10-minute time period. Now let's say we don't pick that up, and like talking about that one situation where we pick this up like later in the game, that's a different situation where we're gonna address that technical foul,
Right.
and get the free throws and stuff like that still. So yeah,
Yeah. No, so your slides are still right. So
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So
'Cause I
let's
did
think
not-
about this too, guys. What happens later in the game? I hate to change the scenario a little bit, but
It's fine.
Um,
Great.
so if 3 minutes left to go in the game, team player A1 gets a bloody nose.
Okay.
And it's determined that, you know, he leaves the game and they want to put a new jersey number on him. But they only have a jersey number, which is a duplicate of another player's number. Do you allow that? Or some coaches get creative and bring some duct tape and they'll make
Yeah.
some numbers.
So my thinking in that situation is the good of the game, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna pull the little kid that's not gonna play, you're gonna pull his jersey from the JV game, so this other kid can play, and it happens. They can't play at the same time. Is how I would at that point. It's how I would adjudicate that.
Yeah.
You gotta have some common sense, but that's not what the rule says, right?
Exactly, and it's just gonna hurt us, in my opinion, too.
And what you do, what I would do, I would get both coaches are gonna say, hey, we don't want to penalize this kid. You want him to play? Yes. You want him to play? Yes. Okay, let's play on.
Hey, sorry guys, I'll jump in. I'm in the middle of pickleball that I'm kind of listening, but yeah, I definitely agree. That's a gray area
Yeah.
that we'd want to not insert ourselves in.
No,
I
we
agree.
don't need to be investigators looking for little things to penalize. Let's be cops when something obvious illegal happens or anything. These types of situations, play calling guideline, right? Like let's be there for that, right? We don't need to stick our nose in here, right? Like the kid's playing basketball, right? I mean, he got a bloody nose. Unfortunately, you know, that's basketball. He didn't do it on purpose. He didn't start bleeding on purpose, right? We just gotta slow down and really process that in real time and not be like, I know the rule, haha, technical foul, boom, technical foul. Nah, we're not there for that, right? Goes back to game through you. So, yeah, good stuff there, guys. And thanks again, Gabe, for that. And if we have any other plays like that, like I said, it's my first time doing this. Please tell me. That's how we get better. All right, awesome. All right, here we go. So we got our second segment now. You make the call. It's called plays. We need to be consistent with as a crew every single night. So I've just put like 3 clips that I thought were we see pretty consistently. There's one that's kind of we don't see all the time, but it's still important that we speak about it. That I feel like, and I heard one of my good friends talk about this, how Scott Foster was one of the best NBA referees out there by a lot of people that say it. Like, he actually shows clips of what we're going to talk about first, continuous motion plays. Continuous motion is big in our game. And I see a lot of officials who, in my opinion, are like misadjudicating it, right? And I feel like as a crew, we need to consistently get this play correct on a nightly basis. So we're keeping it consistent, right? On these specific plays. Because if I call an and one in continuous motion when the upward normal shooting motion begins, right? But he just can't get the shot off because his arm's getting pulled down illegally. And we call it no possession prior to. And then the other end, Doug has that similar play and he blows the whistle. Guy's able to come up after he blows the whistle and come here and finish, right? And he scores it. It's like, now we're getting ourselves into a problem here, right? What are we calling? What are we not calling as a crew? So these are plays that we would have to really like remember to what we're calling and not calling. I think that they're extremely important that we get correct for game flow purposes and for rewarding players for their hard work getting to the basket. Like, like when they get close to the basket, we got to think like a player, right? Like, they want to finish. Like, there's no doubt about it. They're going to be like, as you get higher, they're going to be like, ref, I didn't even want that foul if you're not going to give me shots. If he's not clearly not shooting, don't give him the shots, like, obviously. But if it's, if we got to hold our whistle another half second, a second, boop, give it to him, score it, right? That's kind of like the concept I wanted to get into. So I'll just show this first clip first, and then I'll play it back like 3 or 4 times if you guys want. Here we go. Play it back again. One more time. Do we like this whistle? Do we not like this whistle? Do we like the continuous motion here?
Can you run it by Chris one more time? Because I want to see the second defender, not the one up near the top of the key there, a little higher, but the second.
I think it's like
he got
skipping. It's skipping the actual play where he goes up. I've seen the beginning and I'm not seeing the end. I'm not
really. It's a choppy.
Like right there, that guy, yeah, has his hands up. Yeah, he didn't call a foul on the first one. He didn't call a foul on the first one, right? Like up the top. He didn't call that.
That's what he
I think that's what he has.
That's what he has. Yeah, that's what he has.
At the end of the day, it's always been my philosophy: you don't reward bad defense, and what that guy did at the top right there is bad defense. If he'd have blown his whistle then, that would take that opportunity away. So you let the play continue. Now the guy in the paint got him, looked like, right there. Reached in and grabbed his arm.
I think that's what he has, right?
I think that's the defender that he has the foul on.
Yeah,
okay,
that's a try.
I didn't even call it on the first guy.
Not number 5, right? The guy you're saying the guy who has his arms up is the one he called it on after, like right here. This is the kitty foul. Yeah. You can see my cursor. Okay.
Yeah, I had that that's a try. That's a shot. So I would have that shooting.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys all agree with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, good. I agree with that as well. Do we like this whistle? I think this is a two-person game. Okay. So do we like this whistle coming from the trail? Does he have an open look? Does he have a closed look? What do we think?
I think it's a primary's call at lead. Did Lead have anything though?
No, he did not.
Well, he's got the look right there.
Yeah, I think Trail has an open look, especially in a 2-person game.
Yep,
You got the best angle. No one would ever question that.
absolutely.
I do think
Besides-
that he
besides the
finishes
opposite
very
coach.
easily with the contact, but I think it's almost too obvious not to have a whistle on.
I agree with you guys 100%. And this goes back to the point of like team officiating, right? You know, at like high school levels, and me at least in New York, a lot of it's self-oriented. Oh, I want to move up, and I'm sure it is where you guys are too, where it's like, oh, like I don't care what he calls or whatever. We're a team at the end of the day, right? We're the only 2 people, 3 people in stripes that night, and we're the only people that are vouching for each other. We should be, right? Great game through you, right? So like on this play, like even though it's not, it's kind of leaving your primary. Technically, it's the lead's primary call, right, or whatever. He doesn't have an open look, so that's great. He didn't pull the whistle because he doesn't have an open look. That's one of our macro themes for play calling, right? If you don't have an open look, we don't blow, right? He doesn't guess. That's what I'm saying, right? So Trail has this look. He blows the whistle, and as I said, mechanics are, I mean, not mechanics, PCAs are guidelines, right? They're not end all be alls, right? Especially when players are in the paint on different plays like rebounding action and stuff, right? Where like there's multiple rebounds and offensive putback. Like we want to stick our nose in those kind of plays too, where we just want to be ready to assist our partners because one curl, one twist, one pump fake, it can go from an open look for the lead to a closed look. They could get stacked easily, even though it's their primary coverage area. So just always keeping that in mind. But yeah, I like you guys' mindset on that, and that's kind of just my thoughts on it. Anyone
The rule
else?
of thumb, Chris, is you can't call what you can't see.
Yeah.
I've
Can't
had
call what you
coaches,
can't
I've heard slaps, and the coach said, "Didn't you hear him?" I said, "Coach, if I called everything I heard, we'd never get through the game."
Yeah.
And I can't call. Would you like me to call a foul against your player because I heard something?
Just
So-
because my players, just because A1 screams as he's going up to the basket doesn't mean he got on the head and just fell to the ground. Maybe he fell by himself. You know, like players are always trying to embellish. Always trying to embellish, especially at the end of the shot clock. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, right? That's when we really gotta know, like, I'm not bailing out. I'm not bailing you out. We gotta keep the air low in our whistle and just really see plays, let them start, develop, finish, and they come with the decision that's best for the game because that team is playing great defense for that long. You don't want to penalize them unless it's obvious. That's my obvious. Good stuff. Anyone else or good? Awesome. And just a quick question. I mean, we spoke about it already, but A1 has started to try for goal in the lane. But the ball is not yet in flight when he's fouled by B2. A1's try is successful. The official score the goal by A1 as he was deemed to be in his habitual customary arm movement. A1 will be awarded 1 bonus free throw. And like Apollo always talks about with our rapid responses, habitual is a great word that I've used before. Habitual, his habit of his shooting motion, that specific player. That's why it's important to watch them in pre-games, or if they have similar places at the basket, you know their habitual shooting motion. You could use that to coaches, and that kind of can help you out. Yeah. And just a quick like adjudication with it. Sorry about that. Continuous motion has no significance unless there is a foul by a defensive player. The defensive foul must occur during the time frame that starts when the try begins and ends when the ball is in flight. So once again, the defensive foul must occur during the time frame that starts when the try begins, that habitual, normal upward shooting motion, and ends when the ball is in flight, right? So that's always something that I keep in my mind as like a theme on refereeing. The try begins with the usual throwing motion that precedes a try when the ball is touched on the tap. If a defensive player fouls after an offensive player has started a try or tap for goal or free throw, continuous motion is allowed. A shooter to complete the customary arm movement, or the player to pivot or step while holding the ball so they can complete the usual foot or body movement that precedes the try for goal. And there's a whole bunch of plays we could talk about within that, which I'm hoping to hit on like my future sessions, but that's just for you guys right now.
Chris, I have another question about this.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other definitions I've ever seen in my career for a shot is as long as you gather the ball, meaning if you're going down the lane, you take your 1 step, take your 2nd step, you pull the ball off the ground, and your arm gets hammered. You haven't released the shot. you haven't got to a point where you could even make the shot, but you're hammered as you gather the ball. I've always adjudicated that, and I believe in the rule book it says about gathering the ball that is a shot.
And I hear I get what you're saying. I've never seen gather in like the high school rules. I know it's in the pro game. They have the gather, right? And
I'll have to
like,
take a look. I'll look for it.
oh yeah, if
no,
you see it, let me know.
It's
the
not,
the
it's not in the high
terminology
school.
gather is not used in the high school rule.
Yeah,
rule
it's
book.
not in
the-
the high
it's,
school
it's pro, I guess, terminology.
Yeah.
But is common that it's just found its way into all levels of basketball. But in terms of what dictates a gather, the specific wording for that is going to be in an NBA rule book, because the difference between a gather for a jump shot and a drive to a basket are two different things for those.
Yeah. I agree with that too. What Montreal said. If you find it, like obviously share it. But I know that if that's not in our verbiage, right, our toolkit for high school games, we don't want to be using that with coaches, because now they're going to be left and right. Oh, gather, because it all starts from the top down, right? It all trickles down, and if we're going to use gather that night, and the next night I'm not going to use gather on a different crew, it's just going to mess up everyone in a sense, right?
And I think the piece about it specifically for high school is that, like, the terminology I like to use is that the dribble ended. The player ended their dribble, and when they ended their dribble, they were about to, take a try a goal. So I think knowing when a player's dribble ends and when their, like you said, habitual throwing motion has began, I think those are the two pieces that we can use to be able to identify, one, if the foul is going to be, if they're going to be awarded possession, or if we're going to grant free throws, and then being able to articulate that to a coach as well.
Yeah, no, that's hit it nail right on the head, Montreal. And also just seeing their status, like where are they on the court? Like if they're close to the basket, like it's more than likely they're going to go up for a try for a layup, right? Or they have a wide open jump shot or something like that, and the defender's closing out like extremely hard. Like we got to just know the game there. Like we're going to shoot a ball, we're going to take a layup. Like just having that awareness and then keeping our ear low, then to let the play start, develop, finish, and then to come up with the correct decision. Just on every single possession. But good stuff, Montreal, right there. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the rule book now from last year. It's on page 43. With Rule 4, Section 41, shooting, try, tap. The try ends when the try starts when the player begins the motion, which, and as you guys said, habitually precedes the release of the ball. So if you gather the ball as a part of a layup and get hammered, that would qualify there too. You don't have to use the word gather though.
Yeah,
like
don't use the word gather, just eliminate that, but you're absolutely correct.
But we're talking the same thing. Yeah, it's just
just different verbiage. And I know that, like, yeah, we know what you're talking about, but it's just better we just stick to the script of like high school.
I'm with you.
Yeah. No, but a lot of officials, are like, I just recommend just staying toward our book. It's just going to keep us safer. We'll have backup from our signers then and stuff like that, and it's just going to keep us safe. The rules for high school, So, but yeah, good question, and I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go to our next play. This is a fun one actually. So this is the play I was talking about that doesn't happen every single night, but like we just need to be consistent with as a crew. Here we go. It comes quick. Oh wait, no wait. I'm sorry. This is the block charge play. Sorry about that. I'll play it back a couple more times.
And this is from a 2-person game.
Yeah, this is the 2-person game, I believe.
I didn't see the preliminary signal.
There wasn't one.
There wasn't one.
Yeah. So how do you know what he's calling?
Exactly. Ding 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 ding. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to model that. We want to always stop the clock here. It's not pro basketball. We don't not stop the clock. We're gonna stop the clock here. I'll play it one more time. What we got, guys? What we got? All right. Hold on. Okay, I think she'll mute it herself. Okay. What do we got, guys?
Go block.
Block,
Yep.
block. Nate. If he's not playing pickleball. Um,
Well, the
All right.
question is he in a legally guarding position? That
This is
player-
Nate, yeah. I said block a second ago. I was block on that one. He's just
Okay.
a little bit late, in my opinion. Yeah.
I think he's in position. He's 2 feet planted and he's in the path.
boom, in the path. That's a good point. A lot of people don't talk about in high school, especially where like being in the path is big. In just our play calling guidelines, right? Now I'm gonna like something that I learned this year from just listening to like Ref Masters was really good. Kane Fitzgerald and James Williams, two like high level officials. They talk about the T principle. And like we'll kind of just get to it right now. So if I can. So I'm trying to get that freeze frame. Okay, right here. Right? So now what the T principle is referring to is when you watch your game film, if we have an offensive foul or player control foul, right? See, I had to switch my verbiage. We have a T. So basically, if you see my cursor, the defensive player will always be the top of the T. The offensive player will be the lower portion of the T. So it should be, and they should be straight, basically straight, right? So it's the T right here, and then, which is the defensive player here, and the offensive player down here, right? And from the looks of this freeze frame, the defender, I mean, the offensive player is what happens. He takes that little Euro step and he kind of clips him on the shoulder. And technically, from the video and like the replay, this is a player control foul. Now, I'm not saying I would call a player control foul in real time. I probably would go block like you guys, to be honest with you. Just because I don't think I just think the offensive player really just like makes a move to not actually contact him, and he just gets him, just clips him.
I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. I meant to say player control.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Because I think he's got position. He's in the path. It's not like he leaned to the right or into the guy, the defender. So that would be player control. I changed my verdict.
so you're saying the defender didn't do anything illegal, so why are we going to award him with the block? Basically.
No, that's why I changed my mind. I said it's player control. I meant to say player control because everything I said, well, he was in the path. He was illegal guarding position, 2 feet planted. And then I said block. I meant to say charge.
No, don't worry about it. You're good. It's like I personally like they have this as a like as you Doug, they have it as a player control foul. I probably in real time, like knowing how I am, I probably go block, to be honest with you. Now, I'm not saying that you're right. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm not saying that Nate's right or wrong or Montreal or anything. But like this is just one of those plays, right? We're watching it in a vacuum, right? If we have a similar play, we might have to have the same result as we had as our partners on this type of play. We're just watching it from one vacuum right here, where it's like, all right, we just see like a 7-second clip. But yeah, that's something to take into account. I'm pretty sure this game is in the fourth quarter, as well. So something to take into account. It's definitely a good discussion play to talk about though in your pre games, even though he doesn't stop the clock and stuff like that, but just in terms of like the defender.
The calling
And all
official
that.
had a block there, right? Is that what he had? He had a block?
The calling official had a block, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
I could see the argument for both.
I
But
can
like
too.
you said, just making sure you're consistent on both ends with your co-official stuff.
Yeah, I definitely see it from both ends, 100%. You know, this is like one of those plays where it's a tough one, honestly. But I also wanted to point one thing out with the trail official here, and I know we can't really see him, because like the scoreboard, but I just want him to be sideline oriented here. Like that's a big thing that I learned this summer as well. I mean, he's literally at the elbow. If he just took a couple steps down, like he's on the court right now. Like we're completely stacked. We don't have any sort of look to help our partners out here. We need to have that big picture mentality, stay sideline oriented, and just keep those open looks as much as possible and stay out of the way of the players. Like we like if this play goes the other way, like we're in the middle of the court now. Like technically, let's say we have a pass, like that's right near us, we're screwed. We got to get out of the way. Yeah, so let's just always make sure to stay sideline oriented. You don't need to be this far out on the court, especially in a three-person game. We don't need to be out on the court like this. Just something I picked up while I was just gathering that too. So, all right. And we don't really, I mean, the case play, right? It's this play that we saw, right? He obtains the LGP, legal guarding position directly in the path. A1 displaces B1 with contact to the shoulder area, which is what happened. And the IABO call it a player control foul, as Doug said, as he illegally contacts a defender who established and maintained legal guarding position. Oh, quick question. Is time and distance a factor on this play? Right?
No.
So,
No.
Good. Just a quick question I had there.
We just reviewed this at our rules review session last Wednesday, so I'm primed on this one, guys.
There you go. It didn't even half a second, but that's good though. Just repetition. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. Good stuff.
It does have time and distance when players don't have the ball.
Sorry, I can't hear. Hold on 1 second. I have no idea. Okay.
So
What'd
I'm
you say,
saying
Doug?
time and distance applies off ball to defenders. Like if there's a screen situation going on, then time and distance does apply to give 2 strides.
If they're not in the visual field, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off ball, but on ball, no.
Yes. And the greater the speed, the greater the distance you'd have to give to like on that screen, on like a screen set outside the visual plane of like an offensive player or a defensive player. You'd have to, the greater the speed, the greater the distance you'd give or opportunity for them to stop and or change direction to get away from the screen or to not run through the screen. Yeah, this is just a quick concepts. Let's go on to the next play. And this is a good one. This is from one of my games this year, and I've sent it to a lot of people just so I get their thoughts. But we'll just talk about it real quick. It's a 2-person game. I'll play it. Play it again. One more time. What we got?
It's hard to see.
Yeah, it's
Looking
coming
from
really
this angle.
Oh, it's choppy. It's not choppy, right?
Well, the play goes away from the viewer. It's on the left side of the basket, and I see the number 3 in red in the front. There's some contact there, right there. Is that the call you made? Or was
No,
it
this
the
is
player
a
behind?
block charge. This is a block charge play.
Okay.
Not here. He gets ball here. And I don't have a look at that at all, honestly. I'm kind of stacked here with this. This is just like whatever. This is like the elephant.
Well, again, the question is, was he in the path? And do you have 2 feet planted? That's legal guarding position. If the answer is yes, legal guarding position, then it's charge. If no, then it's block.
Okay. Well,
A Division I official explained that to us last week. It makes it a little easier.
absolutely. And I agree with that. Anyone else opinions or?
I'm not sure if I see what the defense does wrong.
Okay.
Can you replay it? I
Yeah,
didn't see
absolutely.
it.
It's hard to see because they're on the opposite side of the camera. You see somebody go down.
Hang on.
One more time.
Good jump. Hang on. All right, here we go.
Good.
Jumping on my end. I don't know why. I keep missing the actual
sucks.
action.
Yeah. Sorry about
Here we
that.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay. I'll pause it.
Okay, walled up. I mean, he's not really in his direct line path. I'm either gonna go nothing or block. Probably nothing because his teammate's about to get a layup.
Good point. There you go. I like that. And honestly, after like reviewing it back, I just having the patience to be able to withhold this call, I think might have been the best decision for the game. And like we're watching this in a vacuum, like I remember this player 2 plays before embellished some contact. He's the biggest damn player on this court, right? To me, he's definitely legal, without a doubt, in my opinion, right? But you see how the offensive player kind of slows down for a second and just like, and this guy just like falls. Like I think he just sits down on us, in my opinion. The defender, he doesn't go through the off. It's not to and through. The offensive player doesn't go to and through. He's absolutely legal, in my opinion too. But I just think that he just sits down on us to try to get a call. And I really like. I think Nate said that. Just withholding the whistle here, and then this guy finished, and then look, he falls. So then, right, he falls on this illegal defender. So now he finishes. Boop, 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 boop. We don't even have to go back. We can just go boop, right, and then score it. You guys see that?
Yeah, I was about to say if you would have just you could it honestly like if you would have just made up like actually the foul's on the kid that's on the ground, then that would have been fine too. We're gonna
Exactly.
surprise it.
I didn't process that, and that's like a situation where we could like we have options. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that's a
exactly.
great point too. And I would have loved to go back in time and actually do that. Because I think that's the best decision for this game. In my opinion. But yeah. Good stuff, guys. Oh yeah, this one's cool. This is like a last game. Last second shot. I don't know if you guys see the shot clock on the top. It says 0.2 seconds, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. There we go. Play it one more time. Good or no good? Here we go. What you guys got?
End of the game. No basket.
No basket. Okay. Anyone else?
So it's 0.2, right? He could
0.2.
just tap it. All right, all he can do is tap. Does he catch it? That was the question. To me, it looks like a tap.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe we're going to count that, but it'd be great if we had a replay review at the high school level.
It would. It would. Anyone else? No? Okay. That's fine. This is like the first time I actually found a clip. I've seen a couple before, but where I actually like noticed like there's 0.2 left on the clock, and this is actually like a mini basket. So this is a pretty rare clip. Like I don't see many of them. So this is like really good to watch. Yeah, I think he taps it in my opinion too, and that's what the video I was watching said as
Hang
well. It's a tap. Honestly, he never has player control. Technically, where you're holding or dribbling the ball. He just taps the ball.
Hey, we actually had the inverse of this play at the Texas State tournament this year, where
Oh, okay.
it was a two boys 2A or 3A or something like that, and it was 0.3, and he actually caught it, and so they waved. I think they waved it off initially, and then they have replay at the state tournament, so they confirmed with replay, but the timing was off. The timer, of course, started the clock late. So everybody thought it should have counted.
Yeah.
But yeah, he caught it and then shot it.
And it was what 0.3 you said, Nate? That one?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 0.3 or below it has to be a tap.
Yeah. There you go. That's our money right there for us to always just have on the court an awareness of, right? 0.3 or less. Or not, it's gotta be a tap. I think one of my friends said, trying to remember what he said. Just try 4 goals. So 0.4 and above, we're gonna count it. If they can hold and shoot 0.3 or less, they gotta tap it. Yeah, score that goal or try 4 goal. It's kind of like what he said. Just to remember 4.4 and up, we're good. 0.3 or less, no, we're not. So. Also, I wanted to like talk about just mechanics, like real quick too. Like, do you see like all the referees just emphatically waving their hand? No. Like, I know it's the last play of the game, but like, God forbid one of our referees here had to score it, and there's just 2 guys just going like this. Like, that doesn't make us look good as a crew. So just trusting each other, having an awareness of what's going on and what can happen and can't happen. But like just giving it up to your partner that actually has supposed to have this like this last second shot. Mechanically speaking, unless like someone else designated during the game, who would have this last shot?
High school is opposite table.
Opposite table. Okay, good. I agree with that. Yeah. So the opposite table official would have it where I don't know where the table is probably here. So the trail would have this. So like just as a rule of thumb, like don't come out with three guys just saying no. Because if now one of them has I got scored, all right, like that's not gonna look good for us, right? So we see what our calling official has. If he scores it, if he doesn't, if we have an awareness and we have definitive knowledge, 100% knowledge that it's not good, we're going to discuss as a crew, right? Our verbiage here could be, hey, I'm 100% sure that this shot is good. It's a tap. 0.2 or less, he's allowed to tap for a goal. And then we can kind of just go from there. You could also say, hey, I know, and this is putting the game first, right? I know that, you were the calling official, but I'll take the hit if it's not correct. If, and I don't think it should be good to go. I'll take the hit if I'm incorrect, but I'm 100% sure. And I have every belief that this shot is good. And then you could also do 2 official versus 1 official. If it's 2-1, you go with the greater. But like those situations can be tough too. So it's always just good to just talk about like role playing and stuff like that, and thinking about what you could say or not say in a situation like that.
And in these situations, I would say it's imperative that we're mechanically sound, because even at the college level in a women's game, we had it's women's college, it's see always, and we had a trail come in and flush a basket. We don't have replay at the NAIA level, and she came and flushed it, and it was late. And I think the C was in the beginnings of waving it off, and she ran in and flushed it. So yeah, that's just, when games, the last 2 minutes, we want to be perfect. And on the last shot, we want to be mechanically perfect for sure.
Absolutely. And just for that reason, thank you for bringing that point up. Just goes to show like all of our decisions, last 4 minutes and last 2 minutes, especially as the time windows down, everything gets magnified, all of our decisions. So just always keeping that in mind. And just trusting your partners here, honestly, because like someone's gonna, like we're all gonna have an awareness, but let's not show it like right away. Like, you know what I mean? Let's talk as a crew before we actually make a decision on something huge like this, right? So good stuff. Yeah, and this is just like the question. We'll just go over the rule real quick. If the game clock indicates 0.3 of a second or less when play is about to resume, with a free throw or throw-in, a player can only score a goal by tapping the ball. A player cannot catch the ball and score a goal. This rule only applies if the game clock has the technology to display tenths of seconds, which I thought was interesting too, which when I read the rules was interesting. I mean, college level, most of them are going to have that. High school, same, to display like the 0.3 and stuff like that. But you may work in, a high school or an arena that doesn't, you never know. So it's just always good to know. Okay. Yeah. And what time is it? Yeah, it's 9:09. Awesome. Okay, we could go through this real quick. A1 has control of the ball above the semicircle when A2 and B2 commit a double personal foul in the lane. The official resumes play by awarding the ball to team B, or to team A, nearest to where the double foul was committed. Is this correct? Yes or no?
High school.
High school, yeah.
Possession arrow.
No.
Okay, great. I like that better. So that sounds good to me.
Yeah. Anyone else want to take a crack at it? Is this correct or not correct? If it's not, what is it? Okay, I can just say it. This is correct, right? So we have a double foul. When we have a double foul, we always think no free throws. And we go to the point of interruption, right? So we got 2 players, just jockeying for position down low on the block, strong side block of our 3-person system, right? And we have a double foul. One's pulling, one's grabbing, one's holding. One sticks their knee up, the other one's butt or something, displaces them. We have a double foul, right? We're gonna go no free throws. We're gonna go to the point of interruption. So the point of interruption here would be where the ball would be where the double foul is actually committed. So the ball is above the semicircle. Now we have a double personal in the lane on that block that I was saying. So we're gonna call double foul, one whistle, double foul, whatever, right? Report our foul, and then ball is going to be placed at the spot in which the spot nearest where the double foul was committed. Okay, yeah. So wherever that double foul is committed is where the ball will be placed. So that'd be one of our 4 designated spots. In this particular example, it would be the 3-foot posted up mark and our strong side.
All right, question on that.
Yeah.
Throw a wrench some things. If we have a double free throw violation, where are we going?
Double free throw violation.
A violates and B violates. So
In the lane?
B steps in early. A doesn't hit the rim. A1's the shooter. They don't hit the rim.
Okay.
Are we just reshooting the free throw? Or are we
So-
going to go to possession arrow?
We're gonna go to the possession arrow unless they have another. If they had another, if this was the first of 3 or
It's the
first of 2.
second shot.
Okay,
Second
shot.
of a
We're
two.
gonna go AP.
Yeah.
AP. Good question. AP. But always just think double foul. Like that's what I take on the court. No free throws, point of interruption. No free throws, point of interruption. It can kind of get you out of those situations like that if you just have that macro theme in your mind all the time. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. As A1 attempts to dribble the ball around B1, B1 continues to move laterally to maintain his or her illegal guarding position. A1 contacts B1 on the torso while B1 has both feet off the floor. Officials rule a blocking foul. Is this correct? Let's see. Oh, shit. No one wants to take a crack at it. Uh-oh.
I would say that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Rick.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What's up, Corey?
What's up, Christopher?
What's up, man? What's up, man? Good to see you, man. Next one, number 9. A1 is charged with a technical foul for dunking during the pregame. In the second quarter, A1 is charged with another technical foul. Official notifies the coach that A1 is disqualified for receiving a technical foul and banished to the bench. Is the official correct?
No.
Anyone else? So I thought it was no too, but it actually is correct. Correct from what I saw and read. Apparently A1's gonna receive the technical.
I don't think that's correct with that new rule. That new rule,
It's-
that would be a team technical for the pregame dunk.
So now the
Uh,
technical.
so-
Okay.
Yeah, so previously it would be a player technical foul indirect to coach. He'd have to sit. Now it's a team technical, and coach can still have his coaching box. So I don't believe that would be both charged to A1 in the
So
new
you'll be able to
rules.
stay in the game.
That's my understanding. Yes.
That's fair. That's fair too. And like I don't have the new book, like I said, so you're probably right. So yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm changing my mind on that. This is just something that's gonna be communicated at our meetings and stuff like that. So it's good we're getting a head start on it. Oh, good save right there, Nate, and I think Corey answered that. Good stuff. I agree. Yeah, there's just like situations with like faking being fouled. I know like we're running past an hour already, so I don't want to like, do that if you guys don't. I know it's like 9:10 already. But I could go through it if you want real quick. Like one of the situations. Like I know it's like a lot here. Or we could do like we could skip over them and then do like the 5-question quiz, the speed round thing that I wanted to do. Is there like a preference? Do you guys want to do or
Sure, we can do a speed round.
speed round? All right, let's do speed round. All right. Here we go. All right, speed round by Al Batista. You're gonna have 30 seconds to answer each question. So like just keep in mind what you guys have. I'm not gonna put the actual answers until the end. And I have, why did it just do that? Hold on, sorry about that. And I actually have like a timer here. So I'm gonna start the timer. We have 30 seconds to answer each one. Go.
I was supposed to answer these out loud. Or our turn?
No, just write them down or
Okay.
just remember them.
Gotcha,
Yeah, we're
gotcha,
gonna-
gotcha.
We'll
Gotcha.
get the rule. Yeah.
Sorry, pickleball problem.
Listen, you're good. Pickleball's awesome. All right, first one's done. On to the next. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay. Next one. Here we go. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4.
What's harder than the questions is remembering all your answers.
Yeah, that's why you gotta write it down. These are like out questions too, Corey. So it's like you're gonna forget your answers. Unless you write them down.
All the stuff that only happened once in your life.
Yeah, especially the mascot question. Oh, that one. That's why I said it was owls. I didn't write this one. Last one. Boom. Awesome. So I hope you guys try to remember your answers or have an idea. These are the answers. Yeah, you could just like, on your own if you want to count how much you got wrong, or take a picture of the rule or whatever, the teaching point. I really like that Al does that with the teaching point. You can kind of try to implement that too when you're going over rules, just like a macro theme, like be ready for the unexpected, get mentally prepared in warm-ups, be ready for the unexpected, don't neglect, have substitution awareness, just things like that, just to keep you engaged during the game. Maybe you do say to yourself, be ready for the unexpected, and then it happens, just anything like that. But I'll keep this up for another second or two, and it's really honestly all I have. I know I said we are gonna share plays, but it's already like pretty late. I don't want to like keep you guys. Obviously, I really appreciate you being here. Like I said, this is my first session, so I didn't know how to time it. I just wanted extra stuff just in case, so we won't do that today. And I did that for like the 4th time. And then the last thought I had is just like my contact information. Like once again, I'm really grateful for Paul and you guys will come in. It's my first time, raw, uncut. So I know I definitely made some mistakes. If you guys like have any feedback or just like anything in general you wanted to talk about, rules, plays, that's my phone number, my email, my name, all that good stuff. I'd love to like talk, talk shop and stuff like that. And yeah, just get to know everyone, So if anyone doesn't have anything else, we could I'm done. If anyone else has anything or questions, want to talk, I'm here. But
Hey man, I just want to say It's Nate again. Hey man, I really do appreciate it. I'm excited to get the season going. I'd say about 40% of my schedule is still doing high school, and so this is good for me to get these rules and reviews and all that stuff because it's hard going from rule book to rule book. As you're doing NCAA men's, right?
Yeah, NCAA men's.
Yeah. So I mean, you know how it is switching back and forth. So I do really appreciate it. I screenshotted your number. I'll probably give you a text in a little bit saying, "Hey, this is Nate."
Yeah.
So if a play comes up that's weird, I'll send it to you or I'll text you about it or whatever. Sound good?
No, that sounds great, Nate. I really appreciate that. And your name looks familiar. Did you do one of those sessions with James and Kane before?
I did. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I watched that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, man. That was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I enjoyed that session. You won what was the event you won? Did you win something or?
Yeah, I just had posted a play in the Ref Masters and they just randomly selected me. And so it's pretty cool.
No, that's awesome. I gotta run that back. I watched it a couple months ago, but I'll definitely watch it again now with that new app. You can just run it back.
Yeah. So don't laugh at my mistakes. Don't laugh at my mistakes too much, man. So
hey man.
Hey, but
Don't
awesome. that coach in those clips, he is very hard to work for. And like I said in the thing, he's like 15 minutes from my house. And so it's like, oh, we see each other, and I'm just like, oh my God, every time it's hard.
But that's great that you watched that one in particular. It was a playoff game.
Yeah,
too, right? It was a playoff game.
And it was final regular season conference seeding, two powerhouse programs and a D2 conference. So that kind of deal.
Those are the ones that we want to break down, though, man. That's how we learn. And
yes, sir.
We learn from each other, man. That's awesome. And man, definitely shoot me a text and we'll talk shop and stuff like that. That's awesome.
All right, sounds good, man. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, man. Appreciate it.
All
right, man. Carter, what's up, man?
How's it going? I just finished making dinner.
There you go. What you got?
Yeah.
What you got?
Oh yeah.
Let's see, man.